Reimagining Success, episode 25. You're listening to Reimagining Success, the podcast where we help you reimagine your future, designing a life and career beyond the 9 to 5 that allows you the freedom, flexibility and fulfillment that you've been dreaming of. I'm your host, Anna Lundberg. Now, let's get started on those dreams. Hello there and welcome back. Now, we've been looking at some very practical ways in which you can set up your business to bring you the results you want. We've been talking about creating systems and processes, outsourcing, leveraging your time, setting up your financials and so on. But you can have all the strategies and tactics in the world, and you can still fail in your endeavors because of one very important thing, which is your mindset. Now, in order to truly achieve great success, and of course, success is whatever that means to you, you'll need to shift your mindset so that your beliefs and actions are actually aligned with what you really want. So first of all, what is mindset? Well, your mindset is made up of a set of beliefs, assumptions, notions that shape how you experience the world. And those beliefs in turn have been shaped by your past experiences, inherited from your parents and the society that you've grown up in. Now, the bad news, I'm afraid, is that this mindset, however subconscious those underlying beliefs might be, can create blind spots and stop you from achieving what you actually want. However, the good news is that you can change it. Maybe not overnight, but you can work on shifting it, reshaping it, and embracing a new, more productive, constructive mindset. So how do you shift your mindset to set yourself up for success? So if it is possible to change your mindset, and I promise you it is, how can you go about doing that? How do you let go of those underlying beliefs that have been programmed deep into your psyche? And what are the new beliefs that you need to be embracing in order to be truly successful? So I want to look at 3 powerful ways in which you can actually start to shift your mindset. First, challenging your limiting beliefs. Second, adopting a growth mindset. And third, stop making excuses. And we'll go through each of these in turn. So first of all, challenge your limiting beliefs. Now, the first step has to be this, to challenge those beliefs, question the beliefs that are preventing you from getting to where you want to be. In fact, before challenging them, you have to actually identify what those beliefs are. Now, we're talking about running a business here, although this is perfectly relevant for other areas of your life as well. But in the context of business, grab a pen and paper if you can. And if not, come back to this episode another time, remind yourself and do the exercise with me. Set yourself a timer and then just brain dump anything and everything that you believe about this topic and what's possible or not for you. And this includes the good, the bad, the neutral. So just to give you some examples to get you started, but I hope you can come up with way more and really question a lot of things that perhaps you take as facts. So put them down even if you perhaps think they're facts, because probably they're rather beliefs than facts. So just some examples. I'm not an entrepreneurial person. This is never going to work. My business isn't successful because of fill in the blank here. I can't charge higher prices because of ... I can't afford to invest in ... So those are just some examples. I'm not this kind of person. It's not going to work. It's not successful for this reason. I need that. I can't do that, and so on. So if you want, you can pause now. You can do that exercise, or again, you can listen to the whole podcast episode and come back another time and do the exercise. Once you have identified those beliefs, you want to ask yourself a few questions, 3 questions in particular. 1, is this belief serving me right now? 2, what would be a more helpful belief? And 3, what evidence is there to support this new belief? So again, taking each of those in turn. First of all, is the belief serving me? Now, it's possible that a particular belief has been helpful to you in the past. Maybe it was protecting you from some disappointment or pain, but it may not be as useful anymore. So that's important to recognize that, acknowledge that, I had a role to play in your life before, thank you very much, but now it's no longer helpful. If it's not helpful anymore for each of these beliefs, what would be more helpful? Now, this is not about making up some fancy unicorn miracle belief, it's still about finding a constructive belief that is just as true, can be just as true, if not more so, to be honest, than that old negative belief. So it doesn't have to be outrageous. It doesn't and probably shouldn't be something that you 100% don't believe in and could never believe in, but certainly something that's almost the opposite of what you were believing before is a good place to start. And then finally, and this is what's going to make it realistic for you, is ask yourself what evidence is there to support this new belief. Open your eyes and you will be pleasantly surprised, I guarantee you, as to all the positive examples you're going to find that will validate that new belief. And look, although it is going to take time to really internalize these beliefs and transform your mindset completely, this exercise of going through those questions, identifying your beliefs, looking at whether they're serving you, what would serve you more, and then what evidence is there, is actually very capable of shifting things almost instantaneously for you. And with new beliefs will come new ways of looking at your business, new ways of looking at the world, and with all this will come incredible new results and that incredible success that you're after. So number 1, challenge your limiting beliefs. Number 2, adopt a growth mindset. Now, psychologist Carol Dweck is credited with actually having popularized the overall usage of mindset in modern times. But in particular, she talks about growth mindset versus fixed mindset. So the fixed mindset is, in my experience, how we were conditioned at school. Because teachers and parents would tell us, you're not smart, you're not good at X, you're not an A student, or the other, of course, perhaps more positive, but not so constructive as it turns out. You're really smart, you're good at maths, English, biology, you're an A student, and so on. Now, this approach, this fixed mindset, assumes that your intelligence and talent are fixed traits. You're either born with them or you're not, and it doesn't matter how much effort you put in. And to be honest, this reminds me of the time at school where my report card gave me top marks for achievement and bottom for effort, which seemed very impressive to me at the time, but I now realise how awful that really was. So if you have a fixed mindset, you believe that you're failing at something because you're simply not good enough. And, there's nothing you can do about it, so you give up. You retreat into the very restrictive limits of what you've been told that you can do. A growth mindset, on the other hand, has you believing that your brain's an innate talent. Yes, they're there, but they're simply a starting point, and you can absolutely improve on this. Failure then instead becomes a useful signal as to what you need to work on. It's not a failure because you're not good enough, you'll never be good enough. It's just, oh, hang on, I wasn't quite sure how to do that. I need to learn more of this. I need to get that support and so on. This really puts you in control of your own destiny, which can only be a good thing. So if you have this growth mindset, which I'd encourage you to work on, you'll be more determined, more resilient, and ultimately more successful. And of course, this actually ties back into the previous point on your beliefs. So start believing in that growth approach, in the possibilities of growth and learning, and you'll be able to look at your successes and your failures in a very different way. And if you want to read more about that, Carol Dweck has a book, Mindset, Changing the Way You Think to Fulfill Your Potential. So Carol Dweck, Mindset, Changing the Way You Think to Fulfill Your Potential. Number 3, stop making excuses. Now, as comfortable as a comfort zone may be, staying there when you know you want to be somewhere else can be incredibly painful. Setting goals and then not following through, or not setting the goals in the first place, giving up before you've even tried, is going to break your spirit, I guarantee it. So, you most likely have a whole set of so-called reasons for why you didn't do X, why you couldn't do Y, and yet those reasons are based on the beliefs that I talked about at the start, and really they're just excuses. I can't do X because I don't have the time, I don't have the money, or fill in the blank for why you can't do it. I can't do that now, I'll do it when I have X, Y, Z, fill in the blank again. Oh, you don't understand. That would never work for me. My situation is different because, and so on. Now, underneath these, and yes, they are excuses, underneath these excuses are, first of all, of course, those limiting beliefs. And second, let's be honest, fear. Fear is the biggest reason why you're actually holding yourself back from truly committing to your big dream and taking decisive action to move forwards. And the irony is that as soon as you do commit and start taking action, you'll quickly gain more confidence, create momentum, and before you know it, you will have done the very thing that you thought was impossible. So instead of, I can't because of this reason, turn that into, how could I? Make it almost a theoretical exercise. Consider what's missing for you in order to be able to move forwards. Maybe it's money, maybe it's skills, maybe it's clarity, and then work out what you need to do. So if it's money, okay, I need to cut down on expenses, I need to create a savings buffer, I need to earn this, that, and the other, and I need to, do this in 6 months, let's say. Be as specific as you can. If it's skills, okay, I need to take a course to upskill, I need this formal qualification, I need to get that expert support, or whatever it might be. If it's clarity, maybe I need to work with a coach to help me get clear on what I really want and how I can go about getting that, what I need to do in terms of priority areas. So instead of I can't because, try to reframe that and turn it into, okay, how could I? What would make it possible to? What needs to happen? What do I need to have for me to feel confident about doing this? What's missing today? And if it's missing, how can I go about actually filling that gap? So those are the three things. So number one, challenge your limiting beliefs. Again, is this belief serving me right now? What would be a more helpful belief? And what evidence is there to support this new belief? So if you haven't done it now live with me while listening, I'd encourage you to come back another time. If you can now, if you're not multitasking, grab a pen and paper, sit down and do this exercise now, because we'll know that life happens and then suddenly you haven't done it and you've forgotten all about it. Number two, adopt a growth mindset. Why not check out that book by Carol Dweck to understand a bit more about mindset in general, and then specifically the importance of a growth mindset rather than a fixed mindset. And then number three, stop making excuses. So again, how can you turn that I can't do it because of XYZ reason, turn that into how could I? What would make it possible for me to? What's missing and how can I fill those gaps? Or don't. Because you have a choice. You can do all these things. You can embrace this mindset. You can work on changing these things. Or you can choose not to do that. You can let go of your dream. You can live your life comfortably in your comfort zone, and that's fine. And I don't mean to be judgmental, because this is a really great choice to make. However, it's only great if you're happy to let go of that dream and to stay in your comfort zone and be content with that. So don't cling on to the dream and all those excuses if you're never going to do anything about it. So either A, question your beliefs, work on your mindset and make this happen, or B, decide, no, it's not a priority for me. I don't want to work on this. Let it go. Stop making excuses still, and then just get on with your life. So that's a pretty simple red pill, blue pill kind of decision for you. Now, of course, these are just three ways in which you can shift your mindset to set yourself up for that massive success, bigger success than you ever thought possible. Now, of course, this is really deep work and it's important work. And I'd really encourage you to commit to making this a core component of your personal and your business development. So another piece of sort of overall mindset framing, I suppose, is to move away from the short-term mindset towards a long-term vision, because getting obsessed with the short-term metrics of this little failure here, so-called failure, I didn't get as many sales, I didn't get as many views, likes, comments, whatever it is in the short term, oh, that was a bit embarrassing, whatever it might be, is really distracting you from your big vision. So recognize and know that you're in this for the long haul. You're committed to this. You have this big picture vision. You're going to make that happen. Stay true to the what you want and why that's important to you. However, be flexible on the how. So how are you going to make this happen for yourself? And just keep going, knowing that you will find a way. You're going to get there eventually. So again, that growth mindset, really thinking about how you can learn more, how you can develop, how you can step things up. Something to be thinking about always. Reading books, working with coaches, listening to podcasts, and so on. Constantly thinking about how you can get better, how you can make this happen for yourself. Know that you're in it for the long haul. This is something hopefully that we're going to be building over years. It's going to take time to build this business to the level that you want. And that's incredibly exciting. It's going to be hard work, but it's also incredible in terms of what you're learning, what you're going to be achieving, and you'll definitely enjoy the journey along the way. So that was it for today. How to shift your mindset. 3 powerful ways. Again, challenging your limiting beliefs, adopting that growth mindset, and not making all those excuses. Next week, we'll be shifting gears a little bit because we'll be looking at how you can recognize, identify, and avoid, and also cope with burnout as an entrepreneur. So again, we've been looking at lots of practical things in terms of systems and processes and outsourcing and so on. And some of those will be relevant as well here. Today, we've been looking at your mindset, really important as well. And then I really want to cover next week burnout. It's one of those big topics, mental health, stress, one of those stereotypical pictures, I suppose, of an entrepreneur being always hustling, working late into the night, working harder than they ever did in their corporate time. And I think that's a very dangerous view. But at the same time, it's also very important to look at this, make sure we are, again, setting up a business, setting up ourselves for long-term sustainable success and taking care of ourselves, both our mental and our physical well-being. So again, next week, looking at how you can recognize and avoid burnout as an entrepreneur. So that's it for this week. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you next week. Bye for now. Thanks for listening to Reimagining Success with Anna Lundberg. If you're looking for support and encouragement as you begin to reimagine success in your life, then come on over and join us in the One Step Outside Facebook group. You'll find like-minded people who will cheer you on, as well as free training sessions and lots more. To join, visit onestepoutside.com/community or just search for One Step Outside on Facebook. I'll see you over there.